Crypto God here, and today we have the big chungus of crypto in the house. We got Christopher, Doge, and Polygon here. How you doing, guys?
We're doing awesome, man. Thanks for having us.
Well, what choice do I have? You're the big chungus, for sake.
It's a true story, man. It's, we're poisoning everybody for massive growth and taking them on the rocket ride.
That's what I like to hear. A little bit of moonwalking, moon dances, moon sliding, whatever you want to call it, right? The big chungus is in the house. So introduce the audience at home to this lovely big project.
General briefing, what we're about. We are a financial services startup with massive appeal. Our meme potential may be funny, but our business plan and execution is anything but. Chungus Finance will combine premium tooling with charting and wallet analytics, and we want to be able to help people in this space. We have some very unique plans as part of Chungus Finance that set us apart from some of the existing competition, and we'd love to go into detail on that further in the interview. Second major endeavor we're into is we're actually working on training some machine learning pipelines to help us with some incredible NFT production. And to back up all that utility, we create a fun space for our investors and community with rewarding tokenomics and support. Our development team is made up of experts in various fields. We've got full stack developers, machine learning experts, graphics designers, marketing guys, and project management professionals. I think there's a lot of projects with big ambitions and even bigger dreams. I think what sets us apart are the unique components of our business plan and the fact that we actually have a team capable and determined to accomplish these plans. So the three guys you have here, my name is Christopher Walken. I am the Chief of Operations and Strategy over at Chungus Coin. Polygon is our lead developer and researcher. And Doge Wall Street, or heretofore referred as Doge, is basically our head of user experience and marketing.
Well, there you go. Seems like you guys have some organization. You almost brought the entire team out today.
We actually have a really big team. There's 9 of us in total.
Oh, wow. Look at you go.
We're in it to win it, man.
Absolutely. You got to be. I mean, in this market, especially at this critical time of the market, you got to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So let's get down some brass tacks. How long have you guys been around?
1 month.
1 month. Look at you go. Get on with your bad selves. Now, 9 team members, 1 month of existence. What is some of the accomplishments so far, and where are you going?
Well, so far we've been concentrating on building our holder base and our backside development efforts. So that's the kind of nature of that stuff is it's not impressive until it is. First and foremost is really Chungus Finance is what we've been focusing on right now. We are actually going to be releasing our V2 beta of Chungus Finance. Admittedly, I would like to defer to Polygon for the tech side of that conversation. But in brief, what really sets Chungus Finance apart from some of the competition like PooCoin, Bogged, is that we're actually going to incorporate a business model, and I got to be careful I say this, but it's analogous to equity in a company without having a board of executives skimming profit. We plan to actually run ads on a very useful platform, and we are going to share that revenue stream in a couple of chunks, and one of those is actually going to go directly to holders of Big Chungus Coin. As far as we're aware, we've never seen anybody in the space endeavor to do this, and we're pretty proud to lead with that.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm looking at your website right now, and it's kind of pretty. It's kind of a pretty website.
Thank you.
Thanks, Crowley. This is Polygon, by the way. I'll jump in. Thanks for that fantastic introduction, Christopher. And as he mentioned, that's one of the things that really sets us apart is just how deep our team is. So I'm on this episode to represent the tech side. I'm the founder as well of the token, but we have 2 other technical team members and myself and one of our other developers. We personally, I have 10 years experience in in crypto, in data science, machine learning, full stack development, fintech, all of that stuff. And we have another team member who does machine learning. So, as Christopher mentioned, this is something that really sets us apart is, we see in this space, like a lot of other investment areas are more fully developed. But we see there's a real lack of tooling and a lack of ability to tell how well are you doing? Is something a good investment, a bad investment? Is it something you're just immediately going to lose money on? Is there price stability? All of these kinds of things around analyzing a potential position. And this is where we say, hey, we have all this experience, especially on the analysis side. And there's so much we're excited to bring to the tooling. And as Christopher mentioned, we do have Chungus Finance, a beta, kind of a preview already out. You can see your wallet balances. There's kind of an early version of an ape tool, but there's so much more coming. And our next date that we're shooting for is getting the charts added a week from now, so June 20th. You can expect charting, and we have other stuff in the pipeline too. Our other machine learning guys working on some of the analysis of the contracts themselves. So really, we could go all day just about some of our ideas, and we can get into that more. But that just gives you a little bit additional background on what some of our plans are, and what we've been working on, and what we're proud of so far.
I like that. There's a couple things. I'm looking at your chart, looking at your holders and stuff. It seems like at this point, you're taking it a little slow to make sure everything's properly set up rather than just stirring a lot of hype and getting everybody on board, if I'm not mistaken.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, we recognize there's different ways to bring any product to a given market, right? And we have a lot to offer. So we don't want to sell the hype until, it's ready to go. And we're working on, outreach and increasing our holders and working on that outreach. But ultimately, most of our goals and focus right now are on developing the backside and coinciding with further development and versions of our Chungus Finance beta. And as it moves towards final production, we're going to ramp up those outreach and marketing efforts. And really give people something to be stoked about. I'm stoked, and it's been a ride so far, and I can't wait to see what this project looks like in a couple of months, man.
Right, because it's no mystery to anybody. I talked to a lot of coins very early on in their launch, right? And what surprised me is I'm going to say surprise. It doesn't concern me, right? There's a differentiation there. Is a lot of coins, when they get to about this month point, they have a multi-million-dollar market cap, right? And with the market cap where it's at right now, according to the website, with it being about right underneath the 500,000 mark, means you guys are actually taking your time. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that, like Christopher mentioned, many days I do not even check, okay, what is the price, right? I mean, we're focused, we're very busy with the development, but this is something that for us is super long term. And there's, we talked about some of the near future kind of plans with this, but there's a whole lot further out too. Like if you look at different smart chains, right, and applying this, bringing our tooling over to Ethereum and to other platforms, there's really so much. This is a very long-term thing for us. So to even look at kind of the short-term fluctuations with Bitcoin, and some of the majors in the general crypto market, is something, at least for us, and it's easier for us because we do have that inside information. We know the effort we're putting in. We see that every day, so it's maybe a little bit easier for us to be confident and to not panic if we see a drawdown or a downturn, or temporary downturn with the greater market. Just because again, we're thinking months and years in advance, not necessarily this week. Where are we at?
Yeah, and that's not to say that it and this is Doge, by the way. That's not to say we don't communicate with, the people in our Telegram and everybody else. We've been very fortunate that our crew, our holder community is full of diamond hands. There are times when Bitcoin is dropping and our price just stays the same. But of course, when BNB drops, that's going to affect the market cap as well, right?
Mhm.
So if BNB was back where it was, we would be closer to $1 million right now. But yeah, it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise, I think personally, that there was this market correction, because it means that you have to create actual value. And it's as if time has almost stopped, because the volume of trading is less right now in the microcap space. And so like you need to give people a reason, but you also have this breathing room. So here we are, we're creating this beast, we're creating this Chungus, which is just ready to grow, ready to grow. And so from our perspective, what we're so excited about, and what the people in our community are so excited about, is that they can see that this thing right now is undervalued severely just by virtue of the market conditions.
Right.
And so we're just going to keep making it better and better. And on June 20th, with that version 2 launch, I mean, it's going to be really exciting. So one of the things that I do, I focus on community and marketing and user experience. Just think about like, what do people see? What do people feel? So that's kind of my take on it, because I am not a programmer, but I am a people person.
Right.
And so largely like what I'm looking at when I'm helping Polygon create Chungus Finance is like, what are the things that annoy me to hell when I'm working on like PooCoin? What is it that like, because what we have to remember is that we're so early in this space, right? That like PooCoin isn't necessarily great. PooCoin is just early. If you're early, you can get away with being less than. So we're trying to say like, how can we actually make it great? What do we actually want, as opposed to what are we forced to use?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense, right?
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of power in that, because we were talking a bit beforehand about community enrichment, right? About
Yeah.
like, it's not just like what you do on the per se number side. Sometimes you got to do stuff that brings value to the community. And I think having a person on the team specifically for that is a very important thing.
I like to think so.
Absolutely.
No,
Right. We definitely
no,
recognize, I think some projects might, on the tech side, right? The developers of the project might think, wow, we're doing the heavy lifting. We're putting all the code together and we're quintessential. But the truth is, it's, that part is necessary but not sufficient. It's one side of the coin. And the other side is the marketing, the community building, the partnerships, the mission of the project. What is your identity? And these things, if you don't have that, you're nothing. You could have the greatest tool out there, and if people don't find out about it, so we're deeply aware of that. And like to some extent, we're always doing marketing. We're always pushing partnerships, listings, all of these things. It's just, with, some of the drawdown, some of that, then you recognize, well, let's wait until there's a little bit more momentum in the larger space, and then we push harder on those things. So really, when that happens, all that it really does is it gives us extra time to develop that deep value proposition, this tooling that we're bringing, and this organic growth through that, as well as what Cryptopher mentioned, which I want to circle back to, because I think that for me, it's super exciting. So, he mentioned Chungus Coin is actually the native token for Chungus Finance. And just by holding this, the amount you hold, not only do you have a deflationary currency, one that has similar tokenomics to Doge, except it's deflationary, static rewards, and you have liquidity, contribution to liquidity for every transaction. Not only do you have that, but you actually become a partial owner of Chungus Finance in the revenue streams. And the other thing I want to point out with that's really cool is you get a complete revenue share, essentially. So the way that works is any revenue from the advertisements, none of it's going to the team. The only payout that the team gets is if they buy in, like everyone else, fair launch, and hold the token. Now, some of it will be used for marketing, but you can kind of think of that in the analogy with the company as that being the reinvestment in the company. So, money that is going to increasing sales. And the rest of it is going to the holders, which is essentially like dividends. So 100% of that revenue in one way or another is going to you as a holder. There's nothing being paid out to the team. So I don't want to call it any other projects, but if you look at, some other ones maybe in this space, I don't know that that's the case. So yeah, that's something else that just organically, once we have that revenue stream coming in, is just gonna blow this thing to the moon.
Yeah, so I want to like triple down on that, because, right, so a lot of these projects, they have reflectionary rewards, they have this and that to make it appealing, but really it's kind of like holding some kind of exotic forex, right? Like you're trying to trade a currency, assuming that's going to go up in value relative to other currencies.
Mm-hmm.
But with us, not only do you have the benefit of the exciting world of crypto, but you literally have access to some of the money that this business makes. And that really is, pretty amazing.
Short
And that's
seller.
BNB.
It's fucking
That's
awesome.
BNB that will be going to your wallet, right?
Yeah. No,
That's
exactly.
exciting. That's exciting because there's reflections from an outside source back into the currency.
Exactly.
So it's not just based upon who's holding and who's making transactions in the coin. It's directly connected to who's listing on Chungus Finance.
That's right.
Going into the currency as well to build it.
And so one focus for Chungus Finance, so sort of like one area where Polygon and I really complement each other because he's a genius. Oh, is that going to get a cash register sound? Hey guys, enjoy your cash register sound.
Yeah.
So Polygon is so good at the development side, and so what I do is I just kind of put a human touch to it. So like I know that like one thing that always blows my mind is how everything's charted in USD. So it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It makes it look like your market cap is bad if the BNB is down. And so I want to clearly communicate, like, how do you properly assess your investments and have tools that have a little bit of like all these little info boxes that maybe you can hover over and have it pop up. What does this actually mean? Because like a lot of times people look at just that market cap, they don't realize, no, this project is actually doing well. It's the BNB that went down or vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's so much, and especially in 2021 with Doge, we have more new amazing crypto people. And that's why we're going to have people even from the meme communities and from the Chungus community, because regular Joes are in crypto right now. And we're going to have the website. I mean, just think of it this way. PooCoin. That's like literally dissing the idea of microcap crypto. You're gonna cha-ching me again, but like Bitcoins. That's what it's referring to, right? Whereas we're taking the optimistic, fun community approach. We're all about growth. We're a Chungus. We just keep getting bigger and bigger, and we want your investments. When you're using our tools, when you're learning more about crypto, we want your investments to grow, and we're all going to grow together. Right. And so that's why I'm just going to mention, because you were talking about tokenomics earlier, Polygon. But Polygon wrote an amazing blog about how we're positioned to be this amazing hybrid of both Doge and SafeMoon. Basically, Doge appeal, Doge memery, the fun, but with the reflectionary rewards and tokenomics similar to SafeMoon, and then the additional component of a use case that is really well developed with Chungus Finance that pays outside of just the token for holding. You get access to our business and our revenue.
And that's beautiful.
It's a recipe for success. I've been in business outside of the crypto space for a long time, and I've been in business in crypto for a long time. The team we've put together and the ideas we're having, I really feel that we are positioning ourselves to become a leader in this space. And it's almost shocking what I think this will look like 3 months, 6 months, 3 years from now versus now. And like you pointed out, our market cap, honestly, it's a great time for investors to check us out. You can buy into a project with real goals and a team to accomplish it. And we're going to do everything we can to take this thing out of the solar system.
And I agree, because you guys understand something that a lot of people don't when it comes to business, right? That you can't just use money from the thing to finance the thing.
Bingo.
Because if you have a business, you understand the key to that business being successful is in multiple revenue streams. You have outside sources of revenue to lift up what you're doing for it to be successful.
And I don't know of another token, or I think we're more of an ecosystem in the cryptoverse, more than we are just a token, with our broad-based approach and professional demeanor in achieving it. I don't know of anybody else who is developing a project and a revenue sharing model like we are. So I really think that just the uniqueness and the ambition of that alone sets us apart from everyone else. You know, we love to have fun, right? I mean, Big Chungus is a sweet fucking meme. Period. And some of the memes we have community driven. I mean, in our Telegram, man, we have a bot command just to pull a random Chungus meme. It's so much fun. But it's really just a massive welcoming face to overlay a serious project.
Massive welcoming face.
A massive face. As big as Big Chungus himself.
You know, do you think Big Chungus has a massive hog?
Well, what we like to say is, you know, it feels great to hold your Chungus, and the more you hold your Chungus, the bigger it grows, thanks to our deflationary tokenomics.
You know, I think the rocket people would agree with you.
Probably,
Potential
but
for a partnership there, maybe.
Yeah. You know,
maybe, or let's see where we're all standing in a year.
You know, they're lovely ladies over there. I'm sure they'd be easy to talk to. Maybe be willing to list their is on your network.
We're all for integration, though. That one took me aback by a second.
Yeah. Well, you know, I talked with them. Today for a little while, and really, actually, great minds behind that project. You know, and what's really great about the crypto space is there's so much room to do things. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, it's really a limit. The blockchain is a limitless technology.
Just to add to that, I really feel that blockchain is almost like the new Wild West or a new gold rush. And there is room for a lot of players in this space, but there are going to be winners. There are going to be losers. We are doing everything we can to make sure we're standing on top of that podium when it all shakes out. And I'm stoked for where things are going to be in the coming weeks, months, and years.
Well, you got to believe in what you're doing. If you don't believe in it, then who's going to believe in it with you?
And in that analogy, remember who is selling the picks and the shovels, right? That's us.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, the fact that Chungus Finance is going to be a place where people can monitor what's going on and actually have access to analysis, I think it's going to be a powerful tool for you guys. Because
exactly.
For instance, Hala X has been around for a little while, right? And they have, like, all they do is list charts, and you know, their value is pretty good. You know, they're priced at like 18 cents right now, and they're kicking some ass on what they're doing. But it's because they are connected to more than just a currency, right? So when you look at these tools that you're developing, I think it's going to add significant value to the future of Chungus Coin.
You're absolutely right. It's going to add an incredible amount of intrinsic value. And, you know, in one sense, the timing was rough. You know, we were a nascent project right when the major market correction began, right? But we're holding our own. I think, like many of us, we're involved in a lot of different crypto projects, and pound for pound, we've actually held on better than most, even some of the bigger players in the space. And like you said, that intrinsic value that we're building is great, but also the general consensus is crypto's blowing up, right? People who have never thought they would buy Bitcoin. They were like, oh, that's trash. You know, digital money. What's that? Are coming into the space. So we feel like we are going to be able to fill a need in the space. And any good business model has a need that it solves. It has a problem it solves. And we're going to be able to provide both, you know, the most experienced and savvy investors and the newbies alike with a lot of benefit through the products we're going to offer on Chungus Finance. It's you know, admittedly, it's going to take some time to get a full rollout to be fully operational, because this is a large undertaking. But you know, we're chipping away at it. We're really stoked for the V2 release to include charting on the 20th. And in the next few weeks and months, it's going to be incredible what you're going to be able to do with Chungus Finance. So we'd love for people to come check us out. And you know, I'd love to hear your input.
Absolutely. Now, I went to your website for a second because I wanted to look at your white paper and such, right? and then your song started playing in the middle of you talking, so that's going to pop up on the interview for a quick moment. Like,
I listen to that song more than any sane grown man should, if I can be honest, but I don't fucking care. I love it.
So this is one of the best strengths of Chungus. The fact that so today I have 25 tabs open on my browser, and I always have 25 tabs open, and 20 of them are PooCoins. And on June 20th, 20 of my 25 tabs, 80% of my tabs in my browser are going to be Chungus. And people are going to be familiar with it, and people build trust with it, right? It's this idea that if you want to get something in the world, you have to put something out. You have why should I work with you? Because I'm providing you this. And then you build that trust, you build that community, and we're going to have genuine educational resources. That's why Polygon is, and some of us are starting to blog, and we're saying here's what makes us different. Here's how you can invest in crypto. So it's going to be a very welcome, positive space themed around growing as big as you can. And then naturally people think, oh, just like if I like to get my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, maybe I would think about buying Dunkin' Donuts stock because I have this sort of affection for the brand, right? So we're going to have people who have this wonderful, genuine affection. And it goes both ways because we want to build this community, and they're going to be using our resources. And you know what? Well, they're doing well. They helped me out. I might as well own some Chungus. And then to take it a step further, we'll be able to offer some advanced tooling for folks who do own some Chungus.
Right.
And so it's really going to be this wonderful synergy working both ways.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I'm sure, as you guys develop and you see kind of what else is out there and you guys are still building and whatnot, you'll be able to really fine tune it to be better than everyone else that's out there. Because that seems to be your guys' goal, is you want to do more than anybody else.
Our goal,
absolutely.
in one sentence, absolutely, we are going to be the premium destination for charting and tooling and analysis at this time on Binance Smart Chain projects. But as Polygon alluded to, we have a lot of tricks up our sleeves long term. We're going to crush them.
And if you look too, like you were mentioning, you look at some of these other projects, how well they're doing. If you check market cap, I think it's really interesting to look at where we're at and look at, we're doing agile development. So we have release dates coming up. We're always adding new tools. Basically, as soon as they're ready, or they're in beta, we're putting it on there. So you talk about all these different catalysts that are, natural catalysts with real value. I mean, we're going through the typical routes, checking those boxes. We're going to be listed on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. That hasn't happened yet. An exchange that hasn't happened yet. So we have all of those same ones, but we also have all of this real, actual growth and catalysts from real use cases. And if you compare our market cap to some of these other, that just offer charting, like you said, it's crazy the upside right now. And we 100%, we know, like Doge said, we look at these other tools and we all have to use them. They're, kind of the first movers, so to speak, in this ecosystem. But there's just so much we see that we want to improve for our own personal use. And that's kind of, what drives us. And we absolutely will be delivering a lot of improvements on all that stuff. So it's just crazy right now, the value you can get to get into a project at this level with a full dev team that's going to be pumping out huge catalysts. And we're taking it further. We're going to have better features, and you're actually you're sharing that revenue. You're getting 100% of that revenue one way or another that we earn. And anyone who's been involved with, in this space knows too that advertising is expensive, right? So running banner ads on PooCoin, on Bogged, on these other sites, there's a lot of money in that. And it really doesn't take that much traffic at the beginning to where you're getting serious revenue that's being distributed to the holders in BNB. So it's gonna be really interesting to see where we're at a year from now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, man, because there's a long-term strategy in play. So the only thing I gotta say beyond that, because we need to wrap up, right, is there's not a better time to get involved because all these catalysts aren't in place yet. Because as soon as they get into place and you start executing the strategies, the price is going to rise.
Exactly. And because of market conditions, it's cheaper anyway. So we were talking about low market cap. If the project is solid and there's tons of room for growth, consider yourself lucky if you find it while it's cheap.
Right. And that's why my listeners love the show, because they find new projects every single day. So guys, I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for having us.
God, for having
been
us.
Awesome, Crowley.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, folks at home, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share to all of your friends, and to ring the bell so you can get all the important information. And the only thing left I gotta say on that is when you get yourself some Chungus coin, you gotta hodl that